past is we've learned how to solve equations that involve two variables, x and y. But what do we do when we have three variables, x, y, and z? Well, there's a technique that involves 5 steps. Well, mostly 4. The 5th step has to do with checking your answer. So let me explain what these steps are, and then we're going to use it in a practical way. Step 1. When you have 3 equations, like x plus y plus z is equal to 18, 2x minus 4y plus z is equal to 12, and 3x plus 2y minus z is equal to 4. What you want to do is step 1, take the first 2. Take 2 equations, right? And eliminate one of the variables. Step 2, take 2 different ones, so like 2 or 3, and eliminate another variable, well, the same variable from these 2 equations. That's what I meant. So step 1, get rid of one variable from 2 equations. Step 2, take a different equation with the previous one you've used, eliminate that same variable. So if you eliminated z in the first step, make sure you eliminate z in the second step. Step 3, solve what you now have. You would have a system of 2 variables. Solve that. And then you would get your x and y, or your y and z, depending on what you eliminated. And then step 4, plug in what you have for the values you found, and then you can go from there. This might not make too much sense until I show you what I mean. When you're solving systems of equations that involve 3 variables, you can either have one solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solution at all. With this example right here, we took the first 2 equations and we're going to eliminate x. However, when we did that, we got 0 is equal to 0. At that point, we know that this is not your typical equation system right here. This is not the one where you get one solution. This one deals with infinitely many solutions. That's all you have to write. You just say infinitely many solutions. So we've dealt with that type of problem. Now let's deal with a problem where we can get just one solution. When you have an equation like x plus 3y, this is the one I'm going to solve. X plus 3y plus 7z is equal to 68, minus 3x plus y minus z is equal to negative 14, and 5x plus 2y plus z is equal to 13. This is how you solve it. Let's go with the first step. Step 1. We take the first 2 equations and we're going to eliminate a variable. The variable we've chosen to eliminate is y. So all we do is we use the method of elimination to solve to get rid of y. And so we multiply the first equation by 1 and we multiply the second equation by 3. That helps us to have the same coefficient for y in the first and second equation. So we have 3y and 3y. So 3y minus 3y is 0. So we get 10x plus 10z is equal to 110. That's all that is left. Only 2 variables are left. Then we move on to the next step. Minus 3x plus y minus z is equal to negative 14. That's the second equation from our question. And the third equation was 5x plus 2y plus z is equal to 13. We go ahead and eliminate y. Remember, you eliminate the same variable you eliminated the first time. In order to do that, we multiply the first equation by 2. We multiply the second equation by 1. We have the same coefficient for y. We get rid of y. We get minus 11x minus 3z is equal to negative 41. Step 3 tells us to bring together those 2 equations we got. The one we got from equation 1 and the one we got from equation 2. We put them here. We have 10x plus 10z is equal to 110. And minus 11x minus 3z is equal to negative 41. Now we get to work on solving for the x and the z. And you should be able to do this one using substitution or elimination. But we use substitution. And so all we did was we made x the subject of the formula from the first equation. And we got x is equal to 11 minus z. We then took that and we substituted that into the second equation. And we solved for z. We got z is equal to 10. So when we substituted, we got 11 minus z. So this is distributed into that. And then we get 8x is equal to minus 41 plus 121. 8x is equal to 80. 8z is equal to 80. Z is equal to 10. Now we take our value for z and we plug it into equation 1. It gives us a value for x, which is 1. We take that and we use the value we found for x and z in step 4. We plug that in to one of our equations. Notice that we just substituted 1 for x and 10 for z. And all we have to do now is to solve for y. Y was negative 1. Step 5 is simply substitute your x, your y, and your z. Make sure that they all work. And you know that you've solved your system of equations. Remember, all it takes is understanding the steps and going step by step, checking your work as you go and making sure you're doing the right things. And it should be okay for you. And let me add one more thing as we think about all the work that is going on. Remember, hard work is what we need to work with now. Do not sit around thinking that you're not smart. Get to work and work hard. That's it.